What's up, everybody, and welcome to my NXT Roadblock review. I know I haven't done one of these in a while, but given this is the final stop before NXT Stand and Deliver, I thought I'd review this show because some interesting things did happen on this show into leading into Stand and Deliver. Some good, some bad, but we're going to go through it right now, okay? We did kick off the show with Tiffany Stratton basically narrating the show, or the Tiffany's Epiphanies thing, where basically she went over the entire card and talked about whoever walks out tonight as the women's champion, she will face at Stand and Deliver, during WrestleMania weekend and whatnot. But as we do kick off the show, we started off in a jailhouse street fight between Tony D'Angelo versus Dijak. At this point, Dijak wants to be the Punisher or the Terminator and whatnot. It's a no DQ match, and you have to throw your opponent into a jail cell, which is basically a cage outside, or a shark cage and whatnot. Dijak did come out with like a big police baton and whatnot, with his fingers taped together, given that he did dislocate it back at Vengeance Day against Wes Lee. Immediately he took out what's his name, Stacks and whatnot. Hit him with the police baton and everything, but Tony did dodge it. Which this match, how can I say, is he did dodge it going for him, which they did start using like police batons and trying to get each other into the cell. There was some good spots in this match though. Dijak using a whole bunch of chairs in the ring, trying to suplex him onto it, but it ended up with what Tony doing like a big suplex off the top rope onto Dijak, basically landing into the chairs, flipping him over by the way too. Dijak did get back up though eventually, putting him onto a table, which you can see the table almost broke, which is about to turn into a botchamania. I am the table, thing. Basically, Dijak ended up hitting a big slingshot elbow, springboarding that stuff. Went literally right through Tony D'Angelo. Brutal stuff right there, but really good at the same time. He tried to get him in the cage then, but Tony ended up going for that dislocated finger, stopping him from doing it. Ended up hitting a big Uranagi on him into the ground, trying to put him in the cell still, but Dijak had used Stacks like almost like a shield and whatnot, which Tony didn't know if he wanted to close it or not. Dijak said do it, trying to sacrifice himself, but Stacks ended up getting thrown over the barricade then. Tony came back then, hit him with like a chair several times, still trying to get him into the cell, but Dijak ended up low blowing him then, hit his finisher on him, dragging him back to the cell. But next, Stacks jumped in, as a human shield once again. Stacks just getting his body thrown around all over the place in this match, making sure the door doesn't close. Dijak ended up in his finisher, feast your eyes on him. But Tony got a crowbar then, started beating Dijak with it, and then, kicked him into the cell, slammed the door, and won. A good match, I should say. Very good. Yes, it was the Mafia versus the Punisher, and the Punisher did not win. Last time I thought the Punisher was had beat the Mafia, but as my friend Kyle would say, this is Shawn Michaels writing this, not Stan Lee. So I guess it's in reverse tonight, and I guess Tony is the face since the crowd seemed to be on his side, and he beat the Terminator here. So a very good match though, in all this. And I do believe one thing when it comes to match placement in the show tonight, it was kind of out of place, and we will get to that. But this was still a fun opener, but it could probably have been later on. Roxy was kind of promo on Michael Satamura, talked about Michael beat her back months ago, but she said she's been training and busting her ass, basically going past her limits. And, this isn't her first title defense, but it's going to be an important one, and she wants to make it in the Mania weekend as she, gonna beat a living legend tonight. So an okay promo from Roxy. Kiana James and her hot secretary, I guess we're going over something. Briggs came out, and, came in basically talking about what happened during Valentine's Day, and I guess it was a card or something, which Kiana took away. So that whole story's going on. Gallus Boys was in the ring as Gallus called out Pretty Deadly as they were at the Crows, and that's basically they're talking about Gallus and talking about ugly and stuff. They said we want those tag titles. Gallus says, well, why don't y'all come on and take them then? Basically, they fought for a second and threw him out of the ring as Gallus stood tall. Obviously, it'll be a match of stand and deliver. So, okay segment. I know they had a Dragunov promo on JD McDonough. Dragon Lee was in the crowd. Dragon Lee, they did sign him a few months ago. If you know Dragon Lee, mostly for either Ring of Honor or New Japan, former IWGP uh, junior heavyweight champion. I think 6-man champion. I know he's Rush's brother. I'm almost surprised he didn't go to AEW, but yes, he is in NXT. Right after that, we did get Braun Breaker and the Creed brothers, like almost like the Steiner brothers, like well, Triple A if you look at it, versus Indus Sheer, and Jinder Mahal. A lot of big guys to like a lot of crazy, almost like a tornado tag. It was hard to keep up with this match because, well, we got everybody doing dives, which I swear one of the Creed brothers, like, they just landed flat on their back, by the way. There was like so much going on in this match. It really was. But it ended up with the Creeds hitting Veer with like a big, like, what was like a doomsday, but like the Brutus ball, like he just Brutus like curls into a ball and just jumps like a boulder ball and whatnot and won the match from there. So a lot of like just giant guys damn near killing each other out there, which was insane. But most of a tornado tag and whatnot, which I think we will get the Creeds in this year again at some point. But um, like I said, just a giant brawl between these teams right here. Right after that, they then went to Grayson Waller for his Waller Effects show. Shawn Michaels came out as he was the guest. Waller talked about Shawn. He says, I'm a Bret Hart guy, not a Shawn guy. The 10-year-old me would have liked it and whatnot, which, by the way, everybody just sings along to Shawn Michaels' theme song, too. Shawn says, where we're going there, aren't we? Hey, we're going to go there. You want to bring up Bret? And Shawn, said, why don't you just come to me for advice? What's with the weird hatred here and whatnot? Waller basically said, I've been wanting to be the face of this brand, since the Iron Survivor and whatnot. And, everybody's talking about what's going on the internet and everything. But he said Shawn's holding him back, just like Vince McMahon. Vince held you back and everything. But now you are Vince. You're in Vince's position now. So he kind of compared him to Vince. Also, one side, I think it's kind of hilarious that a lot of people were mad on the internet because Vince was at Raw backstage last night and started to lose their shit. I'm sorry, who owns the company again here? I think he can come in and visit anytime he likes. So I thought that's hilarious. People getting mad about that. But Shawn basically went on saying, I'm not holding anybody back. I'm not holding you back. You lost at Vengeance Day. You had your shot, okay? And maybe you need to be blaming the mirror and not me. But Waller basically said, you're in charge. The only reason why you're in charge because your friend Triple H had a heart attack. But Shawn said, you're really trying to do this. I stepped up and helped my friend who has helped me. He said, Hunter's charged something else, so I'm running this ship now, okay? But Waller says, you're running into the iceberg. You're just destroying this place. And, talked about NXT. How come I'm not on the stand and deliver card? Shawn says, we are NXT. It's just not a catchphrase. He talked about people from, Balor to Asuka to the Undisputed Era, and talked about names like Wesley, Tony D, and even Waller now trying to make NXT big. This is all a team effort. It's not about one person. But Waller kept talking about, Shawn, you've never been a team player during your whole career. But Shawn says, yeah, I've been selfish, but NXT has changed me, okay? It has. Wallace has still kept going at him. As hey, maybe Breaker and or Mello get called up. When am I gonna get called up, huh? Huh? I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of NXT. I'm sick of you. And this crowd is always here the same week. They can't change their own clothes. Shawn said, shut up. I'm done with this. I'm not gonna let you run this brand into the ground. Wallace says, okay, how about a match to stand and deliver then? Because Shawn took off his hat and coat. Said, I don't want that corporate Shawn Michaels. I want the Shawn, Mr. HBK himself, Mr. WrestleMania. But Shawn says, I've been retired for over a decade now, which I wouldn't really say that because you did come back and wrestle in 2018, DX versus Brother Destruction. People can act like that match didn't happen, but it did happen. Saudi Arabia and that, okay? But a lot of money was on that line. But Shawn says, people keep pulling me money just to get out of retirement. Then again, why would Shawn Michaels come out of retirement just to do a match with Grayson Waller of all people? Really think about that too. Like, it's got to be a bigger name, obviously, than Waller. But, Shawn said, I've been retirement, but you know what? I'm not gonna whoop your ass at Stand and Deliver, okay? Because this man wants to whip your ass at Stand and Deliver, who's even more and bleeds NXT. And who is that? Johnny Gargano, which I think whoever changed his theme music is still dumb as hell for doing that because that music sounds horrible. Give his old theme back. But the crowd popped for Johnny Gargano, and he ended up taking out Waller out of the ring, which obviously would be a match to stand deliver. Honestly, it's best they did send Johnny Gargano back to NXT. Now, yeah, I'm not the biggest Gargano fan here, but let's be honest. Has he really been doing anything on the main roster other than doing goofball stuff with Dexter Loomis? Like, yeah, he got a win over Balor last night, but I don't think the crowd really cared about that match on Raw. But even ever since Gargano got here, it's just either been running around with Dexter or throwing around money with Dexter or something to do with maybe his wife Candace. He hasn't really done much on NXT. I mean NXT. I mean Raw. And let's remember, the last time he was on NXT, that's when his contract expired. Like after the whole NXT War Games thing from over a year ago now, that last promo he cut, Waller did beat him up and take him out because we didn't know Gargano was even going to come back to the WWE in that because his contract was up. People were speculating if he was going to go to AEW, but he ended up going to the main roster. So this does make a lot of sense. So I guess Johnny Takeover will be back at Stand and Deliver. I know it's hard not to say Takeover sometimes, but it's best they got to send him here because he's not doing anything on the main roster. Okay? And I kind of figured it was going to be him. I really did. It's a surprise, yes, but I had a feeling it would be him at some point to take out Waller to finally get payback on him. Next, Gigi Dolan went against JC Jane. I don't know why Gigi Dolan didn't get a TV entrance and was already in the ring. Honestly, they showed a lot of build for this match and a lot of video packages, even a little bit throughout the night. I'm surprised this match just kind of came later on, and then this match was kind of when you think about it. It was okay. Gigi did get the win. I was like I said, I'm surprised that Gigi didn't even get an entrance, but JC got a whole entrance. Gigi did hit her like her finisher, like a roll up slam and won, but JC ended up attacking her and put a chair on her neck, and I guess was gonna jump on it, but it was a very far jump, and referees, end up holding her back then, so she didn't smash Gigi's head in the chair. But that match was not really all that. I think it was expecting to be something bigger here, but nah, and then again, half of this match was in the picture-in-picture commercial also. So I thought maybe they should have kicked this off, given that they were talking about this match a lot. Maybe should have kicked off the show. Henley was apologizing to Brooks Jensen about the whole thing with Kiana, and all bygones are bygones now, and talk about the flowers that were sent, which what Jensen called, and you know talk to Kiana, and I guess, talk about whoever sent those flowers. But Henley says, I knew those flowers wasn't from Brooks. We're going to find out. They got to do something. So we'll see what happens with that. Braun Breaker came out, no music, basically talked about, he was going to wait till next week to do this, but he talked about Carmelo Hayes and challenged Melo to a match at Stand and Deliver. Carmelo came out, basically talked about me and you, man, we've been the two biggest stars in NXT ever since they were changing this whole thing around. We've had different paths, but a lot has changed since we got here and whatnot, and who was going to be the guy of number one in this on this brand. And basically, I've been watching your matches, been watching Mal. We've been trying to do these matches and whatnot, but it hasn't happened. But now it has to happen. So Stand and Deliver. That's what's gonna be. So good stuff, simple and effective. It's gonna be Mellow Breaker at Stand and Deliver. So I'm looking forward to that match. That match I am looking forward to. Tyler Bate, for some reason, was doing meditating in the back with Thea Hill. Telling like she is a big, strong girl now. And, Chase talk about namaste. So apparently, Tyler Bate is guru? What's going on with that? Andre Chase did go against Joe Gacy. Match was okay. Not much from here. This match was like, 5 minutes? It ended up with Ava Rain distracting, getting Thea Hell's face, and Thea Hell doing her scrappy do saying I'm not afraid. And then she overcame her fear, and Gacy ended up hitting his finisher, and boom, there you go. It was over from there. You know, Thea Hell tried to apologize, but Duke Hudson went off saying, like, this isn't a university, it's a damn joke, and walked off. In the main event, which honestly was not a lot of time left in this show, was Roxy versus Michael Satamura for the NXT title. I mean, NXT Women's title, Raw Championship. This match was a decent to good match. I didn't know how much time they were gonna have left looking at the clock. I knew it was going overtime, but what do I have to say about this match? Was it what? Meiko what? Roxy basically survived Meiko Satamura here. Because Satamura was kicking the shit out her ass. And those some rough looking moves, even to finish her to the outside on the floor. And it ended up with what was it? I'm trying to remember what's Michael's finisher. You know, that big not a curb stomp, but like a big Pele kick and whatnot. Well, not even a Pele kick, but like you get what I'm trying to say. I don't even know the name of the whole move, but there was a few botches here and there. I guess now maybe not the pop rocks to the outside, but it was a little slippy at some points. But it was a decent match. But like I said, once Michael hit her finisher to the outside, got her back in the ring, was about to go for the what's it called, the Scorpio Rising, but Roxy ended up dodging it, reversing it for a roll up pin. So yeah, Roxy basically survived Michael Satamura, and Michael ended up giving the belt to her, handing it back as respect. And Roxy ended up, I guess, passing out, exhaustion, I guess. Which everybody got worried. Medics came out. Booker T got in the ring to check his student. Shawn Michaels comes out with the medics and they giving her oxygen and stuff and put her in an ambulance to close the show. So I don't really know how to feel about that. Like I said, the match was good. I'll say that. I thought it could have been better. Honestly, maybe they should have waited till Stand and Deliver to do that match, but they want to put Stratton in there. I don't know. Maybe it could be a triple threat, but I don't see that happening at the same time. I don't know if this was to gain sympathy for Roxy right here for like passing out was to do all the intense training Meiko put her through and just kicking her ass or kicking her like real hard out there. I don't know because Meiko was whipping her ass out there half throughout this match. Okay, so I'm not really sure where this is gonna go. I don't know, but yeah, I guess she just passed out due to just trying to hang in there with Meiko, and she did survive Meiko in this match, but after she was basically out of it and passed out. So I don't know, and I guess they did kind of protect Satamura by just doing a roll up pin and that beating her just straight up flat. So don't know where this is gonna go next. I'm not sure. Like I said, I guess Tiffany Stratton is still the next opponent for Roxy's, but like I said, it was basically Roxy survived this match with Satamura, which then again, she had to get her win back because Satamura did beat her many, many months ago, like kind of right after Worlds Collide. So I kind of figured she'd get the win back anyways. But yeah, Roadblock tonight. Like I said, Gargano back. The segment with Shawn and was good. Even though when you think about this whole thing with Shawn and Waller was kind of out of nowhere after Vengeance Day, it just kind of popped in and out every other week of where that was gonna go. I did like the Jailhouse Street fight. Um, Dolan and JC Jane definitely could have been better. Kind of disappointing. Didn't uh, didn't really need Chase and JC. That was like what 5 minutes. The 6-man tag match was good. Breaker challenging Carmelo, and the main event was decent good. So this was an okay show with Roadblock, I thought, as they now continuing to Stand and Deliver. But like I said, this is their final stop before building into Stand and Deliver. So don't know what happens next week, but hey, we'll see what happens. But other than that, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Hood9890. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys then. Peace out.